his reversal of fortune that put him in victory lane last Sunday at Watkins Glen. After an apology to fellow drivers at Talladega, Irvin visited victory lane for the second time this season. Mark Martin has reversed his fortunes of earlier this year, accumulating most Winston Cup points in Charlotte. At the Glen, he suffered a setback on the last lap, spinning with third-place Davey Allison, but he came back to finish third. Allison, the winner here in June, finished ninth. Dale Earnhardt, the Winston Cup points leader, hopes to reverse his fortunes of last Sunday. He jumped a restart, and even a plea from car owner Richard Childress to NASCAR officials still resulted in 2 black flags. Dale finished 15th. Ricky Rudd picked up another 10 points on Dale in the battle for the Winston Cup with a runner-up finish at the Glen. Rudd comes here to Michigan hoping to close the gap even further. All 40 drivers wonder what their fortunes will be as the champion Sparkplug 400 is ready for the green flag. ESPN, the world's leader in motorsports coverage, presents Speed World. Today, live from Michigan International Speedway, it's the champion Sparkplug 400. The rains of yesterday have moved out. Today we have clear, cool, and dry conditions as we get set for 400 miles of racing. It's the 19th event of the year, and the quest for the Cup point standing showed that Dale Earnhardt has a 108-point advantage on second-place Ricky Rudd, and the top 5 are separated by only 263 points. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Bob Jenkins, and welcome to Michigan. The point standings really tightened up following last week's Budweiser at the Glen. Now, for those of you who play the numbers, 3 races ago, the number 2 car of Rusty Wallace won at Pocono. 2 races ago, the number 3 car of Dale Earnhardt won at Talladega. Last week, the number 4 car of Ernie Irvan won at Watkins Glen. Could this be the week for number 5, Ricky Rudd, and could he close in the points even closer? Well, he doesn't have a particularly good starting position. He's way back in 12th. But Earnhardt has an even poorer starting position. And for more on that, let's go to pit road and Dr. Jerry Punch.
Well, you're right, Bob. You know, this is the worst place Dale Earnhardt has started since February of 1990 at Richmond, Virginia, when he crashed the car in the final practice session and started shotgun on the field. He will start 26th today. But his concerns are 2. He must win the war, which is the Winston Cup point battle. And after finishing 15th at Watkins Glen, he lost 52 points of the car's 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. But he'd like to win the battle, winning the race today. But you know, no one's ever won here at Michigan starting outside the top 10. And both the bow tie banner waivers for Chevrolet, he and Ricky Rudd, 1 and 2 in the points, starting outside the top 10, so they'll have a long way to come toward the front. It is a Ford feast up front because the Ford cars have run awfully well. Dale Earnhardt's got his work cut out for him. He's got a long way to move. Let's go to Benny Parsons.
Jerry, it is going to be exciting watching Earnhardt come up through the field, but Ned, when he gets to the front, 8 of the first 11 qualifiers are Fords.
Well, you know, Benny, the Fords have done okay in qualifying this year. They've won 11 poles to 2 for Chevrolet.
But Chevrolet has won 10 times this year, Ford only 4.
But they're at a track where Fords have done well in the past in the win column. In the past 20 races here, they've won 10 times to 5 for Chevrolet. Boy, that helps to make this sport exciting, doesn't it?
It sure does. And John Kernan, there's some crew members that's been on vacation for a couple of months. They go back to work today, right?
Well, you're exactly right, Benny. The tire specialists have been pretty much sitting back, taking it easy. They've been watching the races, but that's going to change today because we're off the radial, back on the bias ply tire. Now, that again means that a critical factor will be the stagger. Stagger doesn't change in the radials, but these guys will have to be watching for that stagger today. The size of the tire, they'll be busy measuring the tires, checking the air pressure, trying to find the 4 perfect tires to match the setup for their driver. And they feel a little bit more like they're a part of a team because they can help their driver go to victory lane. And Bob, you better believe these guys are going to earn their money today.
And each hoping their driver can claim the big prize here at Michigan. Let's check the Sears Die Hard lineup. On the pole is Alan Kowicki from Greenfield, Wisconsin in the Hooters Ford, number 7, qualifying at 173.431. Alongside Mark Martin in the Folgers Coffee Ford. He's from Batesville, Arkansas, drives car number 6. Row 2 consists of Davey Allison in the Texaco Haviland Ford, car number 28, and then Dawsonville, Georgia's Bill Elliott in the number 9 Coors Light Melling Ford. Going to row number 3, it's Ernie Irvan, last week's winner in the Kodak Film Chevrolet, car number 4, and alongside the Budweiser Baby Ruth Ford, car number 11, driven by Chevron New York's Jeff Bodine. Darrell Waltrip starts in 7th position, driving the Western Auto Chevy car number 17, and then Sterling Marlin in the Maxwell House Ford car number 22, Sterling from Columbia, Tennessee. The 5th row is Rusty Wallace from St. Louis in the Miller Genuine Draft Pontiac car number 2, and Morgan Shepherd in the Motorcraft Ford car number 15. Morgan hails from Conover, North Carolina. Dale Jarrett starts in the 11th position inside row number 6 in the Citgo Ford car number 21, and to his outside is Ricky Rudd in the Tide Exxon Chevrolet car number 5. In the 7th row, it's Jimmy Spencer and Harry Gant. Row number 8 is Ted Musgrave and Chad Little. The 9th row, Hut Strickland and Ken Schrader. In row number 10, it's Terry Cope and Bobby Hillen. Going to row number 11, Michael Waltrip and Buddy Baker. There in row number 12, you see Richard Petty and Stanley Smith, who had a win here yesterday. The 13th row, Labonte and Earnhardt. There he is, back outside of row number 13. 14th row, Speed and Brett Bodine. In row number 15, for this afternoon's race, it's Rick Wilson and Rick Mast. Row 16 consisting of Dick Trickle and Joe Ruttman driving a Chevy this weekend. The 17th row, Dave Marcus and Wally Dallenbach. Jimmy Means and Bobby Hamilton make up row number 18. And the last 2 rows consist of Jim Sauter and Mike Chase. And in row number 20, it's H.B. Bailey and Bobby Labonte, car number 44. Michigan International Speedway. This is the final race on a super speedway that is a track over 2 miles in length. This is a 2-mile D-shaped configuration. The pole speed was 173.4 at a time of 41.515 seconds. We'll go 200 laps this afternoon. The field separated by only 1.3 seconds. Michigan International, it is a tri-oval. Now you can see that the main pits are located here on the main straightaway. The banking in the turns, it's 18 degrees down in turns number 1, 2, 3, and 4. The front straight has banking at 12 degrees, and the back stretch, a banking of only 5 degrees. It's a very competitive racetrack. There is the bumper cam on Lake Speed's car as he begins to warm up the tires and get set for the competition here this afternoon. Dale Jarrett's front bumper now showing you the picture as he's lined up just behind Rusty Wallace in front of him, Morgan Shepherd to his right, and there is the view that Morgan Shepherd has in the Motorcraft Ford as he gets set to take the green flag and begin our competition here this afternoon. It is an absolutely gorgeous day. It's nice and cool. We don't have hardly any clouds in the sky, and the pace car is about to pull off the racetrack. 40 cars and drivers, and the house is full here this afternoon.